Mary Mac. Hey, Miss Mary.
Hey, Margot.
And me, comedian Margot Evans. Yay! Yes, we're back. We're back. Really do appreciate you guys. You're back. Your girls are back. Your girls are back. Welcome back to the Just Being Me podcast. Hey y'all, welcome to the Just Being Me podcast with your girls, Miss Mary Mac. Hey, what's up?
Hi there. How are you, Margot? Hello, Miss Patrice.
Hey everybody. Hi Margot. Hi Miss Mary.
Hey, we're back, y'all. We're here. We're doing good. Consecutive weeks. Woohoo for us. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you guys caught up on all of the other episodes while we were out. I was out on bereavement and just doing the thing. But we came back last week. We were doing a short one, but we only had 2 topics. But we ended up going pretty long. It was a good conversation last week. So if you didn't hear last week, tune in. Go on back after you listen to this one and check us out. All right. Weekend review.
What did I do?
What you do this weekend? You took
And
huh?
It was, well, he had a dental appointment. He had a physical. This was started. He had a physical. So the doctor said, the vet said that it's time for him. I need to, do some dental work on him. I need to, do some x-rays and things like that and see where we are with his teeth and everything because he turned 12 this month on the 15th.
Happy
Okay,
birthday.
no problem at all, So we'll bring him in. So he says, okay. So then the lady brings me back an invoice and said, this is what you're looking at for the actual visit. And that was $600 and something.
Damn.
I'm like, what does this cover?
What's this for?
And she says, it's going to cover, the x-rays, the blood work. I mean, it was all kind of stuff. And so I'm just like, okay. So she says, well, you have to pay half of it right now. And then we'll schedule an appointment. And then he come in. And then if we have to, do some extra stuff, pull teeth or whatever, we'll call you. And, let you know that what the bill's going to be. And I'm like, damn, I feel like, I'm at the dealership or something, getting my car serviced. You know what I mean? You can call me and tell me you found this, you found that shit. But I'm just like, you know what? My dog ain't gave me no trouble. I love him to death. He a good watchdog. I'm in. Like,
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, I wonder if his teeth been hurting or something. What's the problem,
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, long story short, I took him in, had to be there at 8:30. Couldn't give my baby no food. And he looking at me like after the walk, Friday morning, Mom, where is the food?
Okay, I'm ready.
Standing in his bowl and looking up at me like, when you going to put something in that bowl? But I couldn't. Anyway, he had to be there at 8:30. Took him in. I just was really praying because I know sometimes these dogs don't wake up. And then she going to put all this paper in my face talking about if something goes wrong or whatever, do you want us to resuscitate or no or whatever. I'm looking at her. I'm like, what? Why am I getting this kind of paper?
You at the dentist. What happened?
We ain't doing that, but you got to just doing some x-rays and shit, So I'm like, forget it. I'm like, okay, do not resuscitate. Okay, we had a good life. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And because if they resuscitate, that don't mean he's going to be the same dog when he get out.
Right, yeah.
I'm like, okay. So we get done and everything, and they just called me. They said they had to pull a tooth.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, okay, what is that going to cost? She said $35. So I said, okay. So right now I'm in for 6 I'm out about like 65 right now. I'm like, okay, that's fine. Go in there. So what they do is they go in like they do our teeth. They do the x-rays. They check the blood work and make sure that he can sustain this, right? Mm-hmm. They put him out. And then they go in, they check all his teeth, they do the x-ray or whatever. Then they go in and do the scaling to each of his teeth. They look at it and see if any of them are loose, rotten, whatever. He had a bad tooth. They took the tooth. And then they scaled him. And they took a deep thing into his gums and scaled all his teeth like that. Then they did a cleaning and did all that. Girl, my dog teeth look good. So I'm like, okay. So now when I come home, I pick him up. So they give me two prescriptions for him. They give me two little prescriptions for him, right? Mm-hmm. So one is an antibiotic and one is a painkiller. So I'm just reading the instructions because I want to know what this is. Girl, the painkiller. This is a painkiller. Mm-hmm. Girl, they said opiates. This is an opiate.
You giving your dog opiates?
I declare. So I'm like, he won't be taking that. I gave it to him 2 times. You know, when he first came home. Yeah. So that's what I was doing this weekend. I'm keeping my eye on him, buying him soft food and all this kind of stuff, right? And then they gave me the antibiotic. So I got an antibiotic too, right? Mm-hmm. So I have to do the opiate 2 times a day along with the antibiotic. So I stopped after the second day. I stopped the opiates. I'm like, okay, he don't act like he in pain. Okay, so we're gonna stop that. But I keep giving him the antibiotic anyway. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I'm just gonna keep giving him that. But we're not gonna do the opiate stuff because I'm gonna tell you, after I feed him this soft food that's so expensive, girl, and I give him that pain medication, his ass lay out and snore louder than me.
He's like, I'm good.
And I'm like, oh, no, you ain't going to be sleeping like that. You know, I know what that is. I know it's them opiates. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I was like, that's that stuff. You know what I mean? That's knocking his ass out.
High as a kite.
Right.
I said, you know what? We ain't doing that no more. So I need to know you with me. You know
right. Now over there floating.
So somebody come up on that door. I need you to jump and start barking. You know, you with me? What's up? You know.
Wait, you still got a job to do?
Right. You still on duty.
I just paid damn near $700. I don't get up off that.
You don't have no Obamacare.
That's barking, baby.
Okay.
You better get the barking.
Right.
Somebody get the walking.
Okay. Still on duty. Still on duty.
I understand that you have some stuff going on.
Oh, Lord, I heard that. I ain't mad at you.
Anyway, he doing good now. You know, so that was my weekend, just keeping an eye on him and everything. And then it was like, you know, for a day and a half, he wasn't pooping. I'm like, what the heck? What the heck? So I mixed some of his regular food with the wet food. And I start giving him his probiotic back. I start giving him the probiotic. And then as of Monday, it was Monday, he started back to having a normal poop. So I'm like, cool, because I was getting ready to say to them, hey, hold up, my dog ain't pooping, what's wrong?
Right.
But I went on ahead and gave him his probiotic and put a little regular food into the wet food. So he's doing good, and he's back to pooping like he's supposed to. Because I had picked up a card for them to say thank you.
Oh,
you know, he's doing good and everything. You know how I am, Margot. So I said, let me thank him. Let me get him a nice card and stuff like that with a dog on it, you know, and all that kind of stuff, and just say thank you and stuff. We appreciate it, and everything's going well. But I just kept that card. And I said, when he poop, and then I send the card. He don't poop. I'm make it home.
You know what? I'm not that you ain't getting it this time.
Because I'm gonna call in there and talk about my dog ain't pooping. But so I'm gonna go ahead and send that card. But he's been doing really well.
Oh, good.
You know, I'm happy about that, and I'm glad we got all that, whatever we needed to be done, the tooth pulled or whatever, the scaling and the cleaning and everything like that. And he is very healthy for dogs of his age.
Good and to go.
He said the doctor told me that these dogs now, they live up for 20 years.
Okay, go Rasta.
And he said especially because they're house dogs. That they're house dogs, they're well taken care of,
right,
and stuff like that. He said they will live forever. He said you got 20 years here. I'm like, really? He said, oh yeah, easy. I'm like, wow. He said they're not like the dogs what they used to be. He said no.
Right. Okay.
Because he said because of the laws nowadays, you have to take care of your pet.
Mm-hmm. The shots and all that stuff. Right.
So that was my weekend. Taking care of my doggy.
Doggy toady, doggy duty.
Yeah. So he don't have to go back because I said if he's anything that needs to be done, any vaccines or anything like that, get them done now. So they said, okay, well, he got 2 coming up at the end of October. I said, I don't want to see you guys at the end of October. I'm here now.
Right.
So she went on ahead and gave him those 2. So I had to pay for those. And then I said, give me his free pills, which I got to give him once a month. I said, give me them, and then I'll come back and see you in January. She was like, sounds good. So I paid for them, and we got out of there. So I don't have to see him till next year.
Oh, okay.
God willing, in the creek don't rise. He'll be okay, though. So he good. So that's his birthday present, Christmas present, all that.
Cool. Sounds good. No, yeah, that's all of them wrapped in one in that whole dental appointment.
Yeah, that's all it, baby. How was your weekend?
I went to go see Saw 10 at the movies.
I know you did. Oh God,
it was good.
Oh, how was that? You love that scary stuff.
I do. It was good. I loved it. I stayed awake, so you know that it was good.
Oh, okay.
Stayed awake. It was I like movies that get to the point. Like,
okay,
come on, give me a storyline that I can follow, and not all this fluffing like the beginning and all this extra fluff. I'm sleeping on the fluff, and then I wake up at the end. I didn't fall asleep at all. It was good. Gave me a whole storyline. I followed it and I stayed up. Went and got my nails done. I got them cut. I actually got them cut.
Oh, okay. Oh, those are pretty. Was that purple?
Yep.
Oh, that's pretty.
Got them cut. I don't like them because I was used to them being longer now. Now I'm have to get used to them. I can type faster though, so I was like, "Girl."
Yeah, and they look nice. That length looks nice on your hands, though.
They'll grow back.
They look nice.
Thank you. My hubby finally took me to go to the crab boil place over there. I've been craving it for the past couple of weeks, and he put me off. He tried to get my sister to go with me. And my niece, this is a funny story. My niece, probably like a month ago, my niece, she takes the bus. She goes to I'm not gonna say the school she goes to, but she's in high school, and she's bused, and so she was on the bus on her way to get dropped off, and she seen on the corner that they were selling some oxtails, $22 for oxtails.
On what corner?
On Manchester. I'm like, what corner you at? So I'm going to go pick her up. And she's like, Auntie, you got $3. I said, $3 for what? She's like, I seen on the bus when I was coming home that they got oxtails on sale for $23 plates. I'm like, did you yell it out the window? Did you how much you got for them? I don't know. How much you gonna pay for them oxtails? She's like, no, it's on the sign. I was like, okay. I said, yeah, I got $3. So she had 20. That's like, what's the $3? I got 20. I just needed $3 more. Like, all right. We went over there, got them oxtails, and it was really, really good. And I had
you brought them off like a street vendor?
Yeah, they're like a food truck. It's like a food truck. Mm-hmm. So I had just told my husband I wanted to go to the crab boil place, and so I'm going to go get my niece, getting her some oxtails, and then I pull up. My sister's like, "Oh, I was gonna go with you in Jermaine's place to the crab place." Because he said he didn't want to go. I said, that's not what he told me. He said he was going to take me. She's trying to go at his place. I was like, you ain't going to eat nothing anyway. So, never mind. So, I finally made it. It was good. Had a good time there. I got my MRI results. Remember I told you I wanted to go do my MRI? Yeah. I got my MRI results. The doctor called me yesterday. They said everything is good. The aneurysm is healed. They don't see any other things popping up. Just stay on my blood pressure medication and make sure I check my blood pressure periodically because that's what caused the aneurysm was my blood pressure was like super duper high.
Right.
So,
right. Okay.
I said, okay, that sounds good to me. I'm happy.
Great news. Great news.
Yep. So I'll just continue going every 2 years to do my MRI just to make sure that my ticker is still ticking.
Mm-hmm.
So that's it. I've been tired. I've been trying to get back into the world of the living because I've just been here, you know, bereavement. I was here. I laid down for like 2 days, just like kick back, relax, and I'm just trying to get back into the groove of things. But I'm getting there. I'm getting
Good. How's your dad?
Dad is okay. You know, he have his moments. And we do too. It's funny because not funny, but today I had to write down the date 10/23/23, and she passed away 9/23/23. So I was like, I was like, okay. I had to take a pause for a minute. I was like, that's about to be a whole month.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm like, ooh, okay. So yeah, moments here and there. He's taking it, you know, every day. You know, he's working. He just working, trying to keep his mind off of it. But he got to slow down one day so that he can process and grieve. He needs to grieve. That's what he really needs to do.
Yeah, he will. But you know how that is.
Whenever,
they different. Yeah. And you know, if he doesn't keep busy, you know, and then you know, you don't want him to go into any type of depression either.
Yeah.
So let him do him.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah. And I don't, you know, I let him do. He done painted the bedroom and then cleaned up the backyard and then lined the front, did the front and did the. I just let him go because, you know, it's his thing. He do what he's going to do.
And it's good for him and he feels good doing it.
Yeah. So.
Right?
Yep. What you do, Patrice? What you do this weekend, Tracy? You on mute. Oh.
What did I do this?
She was going up the coast or something, and she had to make the food.
I went up to Big Bear. Well, I had my pre-op for the next surgery I have to have. So I had that, and then got the results from that. And then yes, I went up to Big Bear for the weekend. It was amazing. It was amazing. It was really nice.
What you do?
I went up there for a van festival, so you know, building out an RV in a van. Mm-hmm. So we went up there for that. But they were having Oktoberfest. They were having a car show. They were having they had a marathon. They were having some techie show. So we just went.
Oh, it was busy.
Yeah, we went to a bunch of different things and hung out in the village. And then we had a house on the lake. So we hung out at the lake. Mm-hmm. But it was really nice, very relaxing, very quiet. I lost my dogs 3 times.
That's not funny. You found them.
Yeah. Wait a minute. Let me correct myself. I didn't lose Malik because Malik ain't going nowhere.
Right.
I lost
Mila.
She done fell in a ditch all 3 times. She keep going back to the same damn ditch.
Oh my God.
She keep falling into and can't get out of.
Oh wow.
She busted her nose one day. She busted her nose. It was all kind of crazy. I don't know what kept attracting her drawing her to that ditch, but no, it was nice. I actually, honestly, I could live up there. That's not, I could live up there. It's really quiet. Mm-hmm. People are okay, and I do mean that in a nice way. People are very nice. Just food is so damn expensive up there. But it wasn't too hot. It wasn't too cold. It was cold at night.
Is it snow up there?
But no, not right now. We were talking about we wanted to go back in January, like take a bunch of people and go back in January. Because the houses, like the house we had, 6-bedroom house, and the way we laid out, everything was in its own wing.
Your volume went out. Your volume went down.
Did she move back from the mic or something?
Can you hear me?
No.
Come like closer or something.
Okay.
So we're just thinking about getting a lot of people to go up there for the weekend, probably Martin Luther King weekend or something during the snow season, because a lot of us haven't been. A lot of us from LA, we don't really go up there when it snows.
I want to go.
It's so beautiful. So yeah, it's just something to do. It's a girl to try. Well, I have two complaints. Well, I have a rant actually. That is a rant. My only two complaints. My one complaint is that the traffic is horrible.
Really?
The traffic getting up there, because once you get to the mountain, that traffic kind of flows. It's the 405 to the damn 210 to the damn it's all of that.
Oh wow.
That's absolutely ridiculous. What should have been a 2-hour trip turned into a 5 hour. Just sitting on freeway.
Oh, that sucks.
Freeways and byways. Yeah.
That sucks.
That's the only problem. And if you don't go with somebody that you enjoy, that's a miserable trip. To make that drive. That's a miserable drive.
Right. Can't even get away from
Right.
them. Well, we're going to have to try to do that. That's around Mary's birthday. What you doing for your birthday this year?
I don't even know. I do not know. I haven't even thought about it, really. I know that I'm going away for Christmas. I'm going away in the springtime again. And my daughter just called me and said, why don't we head down to Dallas, Texas for a little bit? So we got to put Dallas on the calendar, and I don't know when we're going to do that. I don't want to go to Texas in the winter because it's very cold.
Oh, is it?
And then in the summertime, it's very hot, very, very, very hot. So I'm gonna have to get in there. It's gonna have to be the springtime, but I don't know when, because I'm going to Georgia in the springtime too. So yeah, I think I'm just gonna make it a long weekend in Texas. Like do a 4-day weekend or something.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know what plans I have for my birthday. It's not one of those kind, that I'm really gonna celebrate. I don't think.
Something.
It's no big deal. These I don't even want to see coming. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, you did a big birthday last year. You went to Jamaica.
Yeah, so that was really nice. Was really nice. So I don't know. I don't even have any plans this year. I really don't want to make any.
Right. Like that. All right, y'all. Let's talk about. Okay, y'all. So sad news. Suzanne Summer passed away.
Come and knock on your door.
Come and knock on our door.
We've been waiting for you. Yeah.
Yep. That's an icon has left us. Or her birthday was Monday, right? I think her birthday, she was gonna turn 76.
Yeah, and she passed away that Sunday.
Yeah.
The day before her birthday, and she had a very aggressive cancer, from what I understand. She was the one who brought us the Thigh Master.
The Thigh Master, yep.
We made lots of money off that.
Yes,
she became this this person that was really big on health and fitness. She got really, really popular doing the whole fitness thing. So
yeah, she played the kooky friend on Three's Company, but she was not kooky. She was very smart.
Very smart young lady.
Yep.
She was beautiful.
Beautiful. She left the Three's Company because she was asking for more money. She wanted to be paid the same as the men were being paid, and they didn't want to give it to her, so she left. And she ended up leaving and doing other things, like making the Thigh Master and doing other shows. Yeah, that's sad. That's end of an era right there. I wonder, is Janet still alive?
I know that Jack is not alive.
Jack is not alive.
I think Janet is still alive.
Her name is Joyce DeWitt. Oh yeah, she is.
I think she's still alive. Yes, I know Mr. Roper and them. They're dead.
Yeah, it's funny. Mr. Roper, who was what's his name?
The neighbor. He was a landlord.
He was the landlord. What's his real name? Because Andy Griffin. He played on Andy Griffin. What's his name?
I forgot his name.
Anyway, his daughter is a comedian, and she was at my conference. I think I talked about that. She was at the conference, and her mom just passed away.
Oh wow!
Yeah. A couple of weeks ago. Yep. Her mom.
This is the year of the mom.
Yep. It really is. It's coincidentally, and I don't know. I mean, knock on wood. I'm praying right now that the neighbor is okay. But the lady down the street, one of my friends that I grew up with, his mom has been bedridden for a long time, and we just seen the ambulance today. This right before we got on down the street, and I'm like, oh God. Yeah.
It's really crazy, and we just got word that one of our employees' mother just passed too.
Oh, see, yeah, he said the year of the moms.
The year of the mothers.
Taking the mamas away. Okay. So last week we was talking about Jada and her new book and all of the stuff that she was, talking about and blah blah blah. So Mary watched an interview for 2 hours, and she has some perspective on some things. What happened? Well,
yes, it was a little over 2 hours. YouTube. Those of you who know Jay Shetty, I watch him all the time. Anyway, he interviewed her, and it was a little over 2 hours. And I just feel, I can tell by the things she was saying, the way she was saying things, I could tell she was in therapy and she was working on some stuff. What she was working on, I had no clue. But what I didn't know, what I learned in watching the interview was that she had a really crazy childhood because her mother was an addict. And she had to live through that whole thing. She had to live through that. And her father said to her when she was 7 years old, this is so hard. Oh my God, it just kills me. I can't no longer be your daddy. I can't be your daddy. Mm. And that's what he said to her when she was 7, and she was just like, oh my God. What does that mean? How does a 7-year-old take that and deal with something like that coming from your daddy, Mm. And the father was gone. So it was her mother being the addict back and forth and everything. And she just had to deal with that, and she went to school, and, her grandmother was in her life when she really needed her in there and everything. And she just felt like her grandmother really did love and understand her unconditionally. But, sometimes people do come into your life to try to help you and get you through things, but it's never the same as a parent. Mm-hmm. Kids love, and long for their actual parents. And, she's fighting some demons, about, the way in which she grew up and the way she looks at love and how, she felt like she was unlovable as a child. You know what I mean? Her mother put the drugs first. Her father told her that he couldn't be her father anymore, Mm-hmm. So how does a 7-year-old, deal with that? She felt unlovable, and she felt like everything was her fault. Mm. And so, she needed some help, getting all that stuff together. And then Will came from a home where his father was very abusive to their mother. Then his whole life was crazy. Although he grew up on the other side of town, though, his life was a little different, but it was still trauma. Mm-hmm. And so, and she's just, she's looking for some things, and, and she's trying to figure herself out. She's in therapy. She's been in therapy for a long time. And she has went, I believe it was India. She went to India and, tried to, get quiet and figure all this stuff out. And, there are just some things that she won't accept anymore in her marriage, and she wants things to go differently, and she does love her husband very dearly and stuff. And, they just need to, to work out some things and come to agreement on some things. And they just felt like they just needed to be apart. But they said that they will never divorce. And I understand that because he really needs her. And he wrote her a beautiful letter. And Jay, he read it. Mm-hmm. And he said, and in that letter, Will was telling her that, I wish I would have been more open, for you. Mm-hmm. And I would have hugged you more. I would have loved you more. I just didn't know what you were dealing with on the inside. Mm-hmm. It was very beautiful. The words that he said was very beautiful. I almost cried. I was like, oh, that's so beautiful. And then he said, but I still had the chance to do it. I was like, damn, boy. And, that was very beautiful. I was just like, wow. So all these things that we think is bothering Will, it ain't bothering Will. That's our perspective on it. Because, like I said, we don't know what's going on behind closed doors. But like Will wrote a book too. Mm-hmm. And in that book, he worshiping the ground Jada Walker. He loves her and stuff. And he said that a lot of things in the marriage is his fault. Mm-hmm. And she just trying to get to her peace. She's just trying to get to her peace. And I totally understand it. She's just trying to get to her peace. And, he's trying to get to his too. And they're not going to let each other go. And if this is the way they have to do it, then they're going to do it this way. And just because somebody is not going the conventional route does not mean it's not good. You know what I mean? Who is saying that we have to have a marriage this way or that way, or that we have to love this way or love that way? You know what I mean? We always, doing what society tells us to do, but sometimes, you have to be unconventional in order to make yourself happy and to strive in what your purpose is. And her purpose is not Will's purpose, and Will's purpose is not her purpose.
It's a big old fly in here, I'm sorry. It's making me go crazy.
So, yeah, I just have a new respect. I respect him because he understands his wife. He's getting to understand her, and he don't care what. He ain't going nowhere.
Right.
I appreciate that. And then I appreciate her trying to find herself and who she is and, grab a hold of her purpose and do what she was put here to do, whatever that may be.
And you know what? I'm gonna watch that. I'm gonna watch
that YouTube. Jay Shay.
I just found it. I'm gonna watch it.
Good.
This is, and I'm glad that she's found whatever, and I'm glad that he found whatever.
He hasn't found his quite yet.
Oh, he's looking for it.
He's just working on it. She's dealing with her childhood traumas. She's dealing with all that to become a better person. And feel lovable, because from that trauma she never felt really authentically loved and what love is and what love means. She never had that sense because she never felt that she got it, even growing up as a child, because remember her mama was an addict. Mm-hmm. And her grandmama tried, but then her dad said he had to go and I can't be your daddy no more at 7. So, it was very hard for her. He touched on her in Tupac, and she just said that's one person that they actually get each other, because if you remember, he went through the same thing she did. His mom was an addict. So they got some common ground there. They were both raised in addictive parents' households, Mm-hmm. So she said the moment that they met, they became fast friends because they had a common bond, and that was the way in which they grew up and how they were reared, and the things that they had to go through, and the things that they had to do as little children, as grown-ups, in order to survive, because their mother was addicted to drugs. So she said that they never they just flowed. She felt that he was a soulmate. She said, because sometimes they can be in a room and not even talk and understood each other, and that would be totally okay. But what they did not have is they did not have an attraction for one another. You know what I'm saying? There was no physical attraction to one another like that. They were just really good, strong friends. She said they kissed one time and both of them was like, ugh.
Like brothers.
Neither one of them liked it.
This is my thing. All of that sounds great. Like, had we, and I'm not saying things are supposed to happen in an order for it to be right or wrong. I'm not saying that. But for me, what it sounds like to me is a fixer situation. They done had their little slap and situations prior to the slap and all this other stuff. And now we coming along with this little fixer story, so okay, let's soften Jada, let's soften Will, let's do the little story with the little...
Now mind you, that slap, they weren't even living together doing the slap.
Right, but it's just because everybody went hard on Jada when Will slapped Chris. So now we need to soften Jada, and so that it's a backstory of the reason why and this and that and like all of a sudden, like I said, there's no rhyme or reason when stuff come out. I believe the stuff that she's saying probably it did happen. Whatever, it's her story to tell. I wasn't there. I can't say that it didn't happen. But I just feel like
she was working on a book before the slap.
And it just seems like it's coming at a time for the fixer to kind of like soften her edges, soften how people think about her or thought about her after, even before the slap. You had a whole red table. You had a whole big old red table. And you didn't talk about... Look, I'm not going to say that I listen to every episode of the Red Table, but I didn't hear nothing about...
But her mother did talk about her addiction.
Yeah. Her
mother. We already knew she had an addictive mother. We already knew she had a horrible childhood. We already knew that. And I'm mad.
Because I did watch the Red Table when her mother spoke on her addiction.
Right.
Yeah.
I watched that Red Table.
Margot, you said soften her edges.
Because they like stick it out. And they like stick it out. And then she's trying to, smooth it on up.
You wrong. I caught that. You wrong for that.
I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna watch it because you watched it, and then I just want to hear for myself about it. But again, to me, it's just so what? Like, do the work, do it. Just do it. But we don't need to know the work. We don't. And if you want to tell us after you go through the work and then write your story and be like, look, this boom, bop, boom, weed, I eat that. Cool. Because you done been through it and now y'all are running around in the sunflowers, holding hands. You guys got the remedy, you got the pill. And this, if you do this, and maybe it'll work for your family or whatever. But right now, you in the thick of it. You trying to figure everything out, and it's exhausting.
No, she's not trying to figure out everything. She's trying to figure out herself.
That we don't care about. Well, I don't care about.
She cares about.
She should.
Here's the thing too. The guy who's doing an interview, him and his wife, he's been on her for years to tell her to write her story. And the story that he was telling her that she needs to write a book was saying what her journey has been through accepting Christ and going through all this stuff. It's a spiritual thing. So when you see Jay Shetty and you hear him talk, you will know, because he used to be a monk. Oh. So you'll get what I'm talking about. It's a whole spiritual thing that.
I'm not downing it. I'm really not. I'm being facetious, but I'm not downing it. Like, everybody take your own journey and do what you have to do for yourself. I'm down with that. It's just like, I don't know. It's just a lot when it comes to her, Will, all of them. It's just like, go under the rock. Like, he went somewhere when he did the slap. He didn't went and he was like off the Richter scale. We didn't know where he was. We didn't know what he was doing. Do that. Go under the rock. Do your business.
Yeah, I think he went to Africa.
Come back, a new Jada, a new Will, and let us know what happened while y'all was under that rock for 10 years. Because I don't want to hear. I don't want to hear nothing until 10 years. But then then you got a story to tell. Right now you don't. To me, I don't want to hear the same story. We know Tupac. We know you and your mama. We know you working through you and Will situation. Y'all have a open relationship. You don't have an open relationship. It's just like exhausting. It makes it not want to be. For me, I'm talking about just for myself. It makes it uninteresting. Like, do something and then come back and tell us the story. I don't want to walk through the story with y'all. I really don't. Do it. Come back. Tell us what happened. That's all. That's it. I'm gonna leave it right there.
Well, I feel the opposite. Actually, I feel like we don't hear enough of the struggle. We don't hear enough of the problems. We don't hear enough of the solutions. But what I wanted in the, like I said last week, I don't want it in all these chopped and screwed increments she keep giving us, right? Like, 2 years ago, you on Red Table Talk crying and telling everybody, like, it's too much. Your story has now become inconsistent because you 3 years ago, you was talking like you was actually talking like you guys were in the same house. You were actually talking like you guys were raising a family together. You guys were actually talking, and none of that was true.
Right. None
of that was true. And then, so it's.
Well, maybe she didn't say that. Maybe it wasn't the time to say it. But that was just our perception that we thought that they were living together.
No, she actually said it. She actually said it many times.
Did she?
So my thing is this. There's a way for you. She could have had that show, and she could have not brought a whole bunch of stuff she brought in. Because you plan these shows you two plan this show. You plan these shows. Will did not run on that show, sit on that couch, and they did not become lovey kissy dovey. He was invited on the couch. She invited conversations that she didn't have to invite at the time because it was not damn true. Now, whether she was trying to save face from the whole all this scene, I don't. And hell,
well, she's going to talk about that. She's going to talk about that in her interview too, because he's going to bring it up. But what she said was that Will knew that she was going to talk about it, and he wasn't even supposed to come. And she said, "You don't have to." And he said, "No, I'm not going to come." And then he decided at the last minute, "Yeah, I want to be there." She said, "Are you sure?" And he said, "Yes," and he came.
Okay. I'm just not, I'm over it. And a lot of stuff she said in her Red Table Talk, where she's sitting around a family table, having family gathering, having family conversation, that crap was not true. The perception she gave off was not true. And so at this point, I'm glad you got your stuff together. I'm glad you found Jesus, because he is the one, right?
He is the one.
I'm glad.
Or she is the one.
I'm glad. All of that. I'm glad, right? I'm just not for the bullshit anymore.
Yeah.
I'm just really not for hearing you clean up stories. And that's the thing I don't like about celebrities. Like, you put out one day.
Well, it's not. I wouldn't say that she's cleaning up stories. I think she's setting the story straight.
That's a cleanup, though. Mm-hmm. Setting it straight is a cleanup because it shouldn't have been crooked to begin with. And it was only crooked because you put it out there. Mm-hmm. I mean, if you put it out there, you put it out there. There were topics on Red Table Talk, and she had that show for almost 3 years. Well, almost 3 years. And so it was topics that were put out there that didn't need to be put out there. I already knew that your mother was a drug addict. We already knew all of that. We know all of that. Now, here's what I did. Here's what I didn't know. I didn't know she was in the car when Tupac got shot.
You see the meme?
Like, if we're gonna talk about something, let's talk about that.
Did you see the?
What did you say?
They got some memes out there. They got Jada in the front seat with Tupac getting shot. Well, in the car before he got shot. In the back seat. I was like, oh my God. Stop. Now that right there, to leave her alone, but it was funny.
And I mean, the internet is really like going in. They like, I'm tired of I'm tired of Jada Pinkett, Alcina, Shakur, Will. Like, they are just going in. And here's my thing. It didn't even have to be like this, Jada. It really didn't. It really didn't. The information you put out ahead of time is not matching. Like, the math ain't mathing. And you may not have been with Will. Because I don't think, if y'all wasn't together, if you say y'all wasn't together now, y'all, I don't know which is true. Y'all were together, y'all wasn't together. I don't know. I don't even care. I'm not even interested anymore. Because hell, how do I know this is the truth?
Right.
And he actually invited her to that award show that night. He actually invited her. She said she wasn't going to even come. And he said, come with me. And she went with him. She said that she was glad that he invited her.
Regardless of all the bullshit, that's still his wife. She's getting wifely privileges, whether or not she wants to indulge in them, and whether or not she wants to indulge them. But she should have been invited. I'm just not. They could be together and not be together. I don't have a problem with that. Like, you can be together, you can be seen with somebody and be separated. People do it all day long. But
like, I don't even think that, like, with the slap, she didn't have nothing to do with that. Will is a grown ass man. He decided to go do what he did. Now people blaming her, like, oh, because she looked at him and she was like, you better go up. Y'all don't know what the fuck that lady was thinking about. And it's not her fault. It's not her fault. If he wanted to prove a point, that's him and his grown ass that wanted to prove that point. She didn't make him do that. But I don't know.
At the end of the day, that's still his baby. That's still his kid's mother. At the end of the day, still is and was his best friend. At the end of the day, they had a special bond. At the end of the day, it's still his job to protect her. And he's probably going to protect her, whether they're married or not. At the end of the day. I have no qualms with that.
I don't think it was no protection. That's the thing. That's my problem. I don't think it was no protection. Because he said whatever he said. He could have waited till after the thing. He didn't go over there and slap Jada in the head and be like, cue ball, and say something to her. That's protection. He on a public TV saying whatever he's saying. I would have waited till that commercial break, and I would have walked right behind you. You probably would have seen me while the commercial was coming on, me walking up on the stage, going to the back, following his ass. But he didn't need to hit him while he was on the stage. That was like ridiculous. But she didn't make him do it. And I don't think that was protection. For what? Like, that's not protection. I don't think that's protecting.
That's not what I mean by that.
No, but that's what the narrative is that he protected his wife.
That's not what I mean by that.
No. He was protecting her honor.
Protecting her honor.
I just mean he has a natural protection of her because of the relationship that they have and the role she played in his life. That's what I mean.
That's what made me mad at him. That's what made me mad at Will Smith. That's the part I'm mad at Will Smith about, because he didn't have to do that. But he could have hit him. If he felt like he needed to hit him, he could have hit him. But he didn't have to go on stage and hit him like that. But whatever.
Yeah, that's true. I think it's a good book. I think it's I think it is a good book. I think she'll get sales. I think she'll do fine. Like I said last week, I'm not enticed to really run out and go buy it. But I hope she does get sales. I hope she deserves it. I mean, it's Jada Pinkett. Like,
it's her story.
At the end of the day, this is Jada Pinkett.
Yeah, it's her story. I think
it's her story. This is Jada Pinkett. This is one of our icons.
I'm interested. I'm interested. I just want to read about her spiritual journey. That's my interest in it. I want to read about her spiritual journey.
I want to say too, because I told you I had something, because I had found something before you told me that you had watched that interview. She is saying, and this is see, these are the things that make me go, why, Jada, why? What's the point? So she said, this is her quote, "I think every summer all the reports would come out that me and Will are getting a divorce." This is her talking to somebody. And this particular summer, Chris Rock, he thought we were getting the divorce. So he called me and basically he was like, "I love to take you out." Why are you still talking about fucking Chris? Why?
You know what? I think that's from an excerpt in her book, because what she said, I remember when she was being interviewed by Jay, she said that there was some history with Will and Chris that went back, that we were reading the book, that there was some history there that kind of added up to that slap, that thing that happened. She said, because she said when she was in the theater and she looked up and she saw Chris's name being presented and had his name, and then she said she looked at her husband and said, "Oh, Chris is a presenter tonight," like that. And then she said that her husband just looked back at her, and so she says, "Okay, here we go," like that. So then when he came out as a presenter or whatever, and then he made that comment about Jada, when Jada looked at Will, what she was saying is, I told you, like that. That's what she was telling Will. "I told you so," like that, or whatever. But there is some history that she didn't go into in that interview. She said that's in the book, that is with her husband and Chris Rock.
And so she continued to say, because however Jada Pinkett says, she shuts down the rumors before Chris Rock profusely apologized. She says, I quote, "I was like, what do you mean?" He was like, "Well, aren't you and Will getting a divorce?" I was like, "No, Chris, those are just rumors." He was appalled and he profusely apologized, and that was that.
Yeah, and see, that was before the slap.
That was before the slap.
She said, because a lot of people didn't even know that they were even living separately. She said, but she's assuming that, I guess, that Chris had got wind of it. Saying that, I know you guys didn't divorce because they were living separately.
Why is that in your book?
Because she's giving you some history on the whole thing that led up to the slap, probably with Will.
I don't believe that. Just leave it out. Leave it out. Well, no, she's not gonna leave it out. But that's before you told me about that. I'm like, okay, already. Like okay. So now you want to clear up. Here's my desire. I just hope. They said, I hope that all the misunderstandings around this can be cleared up, and that we can be at peace. At this time, Chris Rock hasn't publicly acknowledged Jada Smith's statement. So that she was trying to clear it up in the book. He hasn't acknowledged it, and I wouldn't acknowledge it.
Right. But and then another thing too is I want to say too is that dang it, you just made me lose my thought. There was one more thing that was really pertinent to me that she had said that they were talking about anyway, I learned something about what she said. Anyway, keep going. I forget what it was.
I don't know.
Okay, here's the thing. Everybody was saying that she was saying about, Tupac this and Tupac that. She said, listen, let me tell you something. Me and Tupac would get mad at each other. She said there were times we wouldn't speak for a year, 6 months, 3 months, like that. And then she said, then he'll reach out, "Hey girl, what's going on? What's going on with you?" She said, and stuff like that. She said he was like a really close friend, like a brother. She said, because he had a problem with everybody I dated except we, like that and stuff. And then she said, I think that him and Will would have had a great relationship. Had he lived longer and everything, because, he thought that Will was a cool guy. But anyway, she also said that during the time when Tupac was shot, she said that she really went through something, because at that time they weren't even speaking then. When he got shot, she said they were not speaking, and they hadn't spoken for like about a year. And she said she really, she said that hit hard, because, she said she wished they would have, been able to settle their differences, she said, but they always came back and settled the differences, she said, but during this time it was one of those times where he was actually killed, during one of those times that they was going through something.
And that's another thing right there. and I don't know if somebody hacked her page, because I had her, I don't know how I was following her on Instagram, like back in the day but everything was about Tupac. Like everything came up about Tupac and her, Tupac. I was like, what is happening? Like, what?
But see, that could be just the media doing it too.
But it was her page. It was like her page, her Instagram page where she posts. I'm like, you ain't posting really nothing about
him and her not talking at that time.
No, this is like Tupac been gone for years. Like,
right.
It's like you pushed or whoever pushed. I'm not, because I don't want to say it was her. I don't know, but right. It was just like every time I was on my timeline, I seen something about her and Tupac, Tupac, and I'm like, girl, get it together. I understand, but every single post that you have, and I love you, and I miss you, and I love you. I understand you have your moments, and you may want to put that on there, but I'm talking about every single. I turned it off. I unfollowed it because it was like every post was about Tupac and her, and I was like, I can't. I can't. It's too much. But
right,
I mean,
right.
Hey,
it could be overwhelming. I'm sure
it's her deal. I wish her the best. I hope, she gets whatever she needs out of this whole thing. And, and she can kind of turn her ears on mute to people like me that's just saying, I don't want to hear it. And she continue doing whatever she want to do. Because it's her thing to do. So.
Right.
Nelly and Ashanti. On a lighter note, I think Mary had told me that they were back together, but I just seen what is it, a TikTok where Nelly surprised Ashanti on her birthday, and he gave her a watch, and he gave her like a necklace or something, and she was really I just think they're a very cute couple. I always thought that they were a nice couple.
They were a very cute couple.
Yeah. After nearly 10 years, they made their relationship Insta official. So it was on Instagram, which is cool. I like that. They both look the same. They both look the same from back in the day. So yeah, I hope the best for them.
Right.
Britney Spears. Oh no, let me back up because we was talking about Jeezy, the one that was married to Jeannie Mai.
But they're still married.
Yes, they're still married to Jeannie Mai. Is claiming that he was experiencing depression for 8 years. And he's seeing a therapist. And when we was talking about this, we was saying how, it's good to see men talking about their depression because most men, don't talk up on their depression and they don't go see, a therapist and stuff like that because they're a man. You're supposed to man up. You're supposed to be a man. But it's good. It's refreshing. And like you guys were saying, I think everybody should get some kind of therapy. I think we talked about that, a couple of weeks ago.
Yes, we did. We sure did.
Needs to get some kind of therapy.
Yeah, because, in men, they are raised 9 times out of 10 not to acknowledge their feelings and not to show their feelings or even talk about them. And, it's always been this masculine thing that men don't cry. Right. And men are not supposed to cry. And I think that's wrong. I think we've been doing a disservice to our men, especially in our communities, and, that's why we have a lot of issues today with our men and their mothers. And sometimes the fathers, too, because I think that the fathers were pretty much raised the same way, about their emotions and things like that, and that they don't matter, and, you can't feel a certain way about different stuff or whatever, when everybody is human. Right. We all have feelings and stuff like that, and they should be comfortable enough within themselves to discuss them.
Yeah, for sure.
I think these men out here, they need some help because I think that maybe if they got some help and they deal with it, maybe we wouldn't have a lot of men, with all these ailments and diseases and things like that, and our men would be living longer. You know what I mean? Because, when you're holding all that kind of stuff in, you can get high blood pressure, strokes, overeating and all that kind of stuff because you're dealing with so much that you're not allowing to come out and be dealt with the way it should be dealt with.
Right.
And then sometimes our parents go to their graves and we haven't even had the chance to kind of discuss some things that have been bothering us. So that's stuck. That's stuck. That's going to take some real hard work, what we call shadow work to get a lot of that stuff up and out of you. And it's a hurtful process. But, I really wish, and Patrice, I'm sure she agrees, and we were talking earlier, they need to get the help. All of us do. We really need to get some help. And we need to find out, too, who we really are and what our purpose is.
Right.
What you say?
Stress is a toxin.
Yes.
It's toxic to our body. It turns into a toxin.
Yes, it does. Absolutely. That's right. And that's what causes the disease.
That's what a lot of times causes diseases. Mental illness, and so I truly believe that everybody needs to, at some point in their life, because trauma shows up differently, and a lot of times, to be quite honest, we don't even recognize trauma until it's too late.
It does. That's true. That's so true.
We don't acknowledge trauma because that's not how we've been designed to be. We've been designed to, to take the licking and keep on ticking, as some would say. But that's not okay.
Yeah.
That's not okay, and especially in the world that we live in, it's not just your own trauma, it's your environmental trauma.
Oh, environmental trauma. All of it.
It's cultural trauma. And some of us are just getting pounded, right? Especially our Black men.
Yes, ma'am.
And our Black women, because we are our existence and being in the United States is a trauma in itself.
Within itself.
To other people, right? So that's cause for you to go sit on somebody's couch.
Right.
Right? Because I have to say, and this is just an example, when everything happened to George Floyd, I felt so heavy and so convicted. And so it was almost, honestly, it was almost like a weight. It was just the one thing that kind of catapulted everything that had been happening.
Right.
In my life in general, from what I saw to what I heard to what I experienced. That stuff affects us, and we don't really realize that.
Right. It really does.
It's fair to do yourself some justice. You don't have to be, we say that you have to be crazy. I don't even know what the hell crazy mean anymore, because I know some pretty sane people that I would say they crazy as hell. Right?
Exactly.
So we need to get out of that stigma. And especially in our community, we really need to encourage and support, because I bet you if we had therapy, I bet you more men would be present for their children.
For their families, yeah.
I bet you things would start to change if we actually acknowledged and gave them the credit and gave them the space that they needed to get. Because it's not really about going to get the help, it's about having the space to even express that, because the expression is first before help.
And then I think too that would keep us out of courts fighting for child support that was set up to harm our Black men in the first place. So I think if we were getting that type of counseling or whatever, we wouldn't be crowding those courtrooms every day trying to get some child support for our kids. The men wouldn't have any problem taking care of their children, making sure their children had things and putting them on insurance and things like that. We wouldn't need the white man to tell us how much we had to pay and all this kind of stuff. I think it would be a whole different scenario down there in the courtrooms.
I just want them to stay out of jail for violence. I feel like
that too.
A lot of that violence is pent up anger
because they're taking out their trauma and they're taking all that kind of stuff out on their spouses, girlfriends, or whoever as a release because they don't know what else to do with it. You know what I mean? You can't go over there to mom and daddy. So the next best thing is that person that's right there next to you, that's loving you, and that would be whoever that is in your life. You know what I mean? And it could be you and, the mother. Sometimes it's even the mother, doing the father like that and, the kids and everything. We can't hear a lot of stuff towards men, but, because women, they do the same things. But yeah, we all deserve to take a trip into a therapist's office and just get evaluated. Let's just talk about it.
Just talk to a stranger. Talk to a stranger.
That person is not there to judge you. That you're not gonna get a whole bunch.
Not at all. They just there to give you the truth.
You're not gonna get a whole bunch of opinions
Mm-hmm.
And suggestions, and so it's have a neutral party.
Yeah, and they're just going to try to give you some tools to help you work through, what you're going through. That's all. Give you some assignments and stuff like that, and just try to help you get through it. That's all.
Yeah. So we have an update on the Blind Side controversy with the what is his name? Michael Orr. The guy that played in the story that was about Michael Orr with the Blind Side. He won his case. The judge terminated the 20-year conservatorship, and that's good. That is so good for him because that was the movie was titled correctly. The Blind Side. They blindsided him. Thinking that they was doing something for him, like we were saying, when he was younger, and, okay. But this man is 40, 50 something years old, and he still have a conservatorship, and they're still making money off of that movie, and he's getting nothing.
And not only that, they're taking his check.
They're taking his checks.
That he works for.
Yeah.
And when he was in the NFL and everything, they was getting that check. It was going to him. It was going into the conservatorship. They was dishing money out to him.
Yeah, ain't right.
How you gonna nickel and dime me and that's my money?
I work for that.
See, and I'm a grown ass man.
He probably ended up getting with a good woman, and she was like, "Okay, where your money at? Like,
why are you living like this?
Right? Like, what? I mean, I ain't trying to be, in your business like that, but what's happening?" He like, "Oh yeah, the Tui family, they over here taking care. They send me a little check every now and then, a little check."
But you know what? When remember that story had broke. He was saying that his friends would ask him, "Hey man, what's happening with that?" But man, you better look into that. But he never would. He would never look into it. He just thought that they meant him so well. He was so brainwashed with that. He was like, "Oh my God, they treated me so nice, and no, they wouldn't do that to me. They wouldn't do that to me." But when that day came, and he went to him and said, "Hey, I need some money," and they looked at him like he was crazy.
His money that he worked for.
Yeah, and he was like, something's wrong with this. Good for him.
Yep.
Good for him. Sometimes that's what it takes for sometimes people to wake up.
Yeah. Yep. So I wonder what his settlement is going to end up being, but whatever it is, he deserves it. He worked for it. It's his money. Give it to him.
And I know all the money that they spent, they don't have to pay him back. I know that.
That they don't have to pay him back?
No, I said whatever it is.
Oh, okay.
They don't have.
Oh, they don't have the right to pay him back.
Back to him. Yeah. They don't have it.
They don't have it.
That lifestyle that they gave their kids, themselves, all that stuff they bought, them big old boats and all this kind of stuff or whatever, these extravagant vacations probably that he was no part of.
Yeah. Yeah.
And all that kind of stuff. You can't get that money back. They don't have it back to give. They don't have to give it to them.
I'll be like, if I was a judge, I would say, okay, so this is what we gonna do. Wherever he living, y'all about to live. Wherever y'all living, he about to live. We about to do a swap. Blind side on this. We swapping. We swapping houses. We swapping everything. Swapping lives. Let him live the good life. You don't get no car. If he didn't have no car, whatever car he had, that's what y'all gonna have. The one car that he probably had. The apartment that he probably stayed in. That's where you and your family gonna stay. And then he gonna take over y'all stuff. Since y'all had that man out there like that.
You guys are gonna have to sell that house and give him his money.
Give him his money. You're gonna sell all that stuff y'all got. Everything.
So it's time for you guys to live humbly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Everything.
And that's another thing, some people just, take advantage of situations and stuff like that for gain purposes. Not from a heart.
Yeah.
Not from the heart. It's all motivated by greed and gain. They're not doing it from the abundance of the heart at all. But people can't see that. Oh, you're helping that black kid. Oh, you're doing this. Oh, you're doing that.
Right.
You better look behind that. Go up in that house. See what they feeding them kids. See how they dressing. See how they talking to kids. See what all that stuff they got them kids doing up in that house.
Right.
Yeah. Everything is not heart motivated. No. And I don't care. You guys can yell Christian and this religion and all this kind of stuff. It ain't all what it seems to be.
Right.
It's not what it seems to be. And that's the religion part. That's the religion part.
Yeah.
Spirituality is a whole different thing. But these people behind this religion thing, man, they got screwed up really bad. And it's sad because, when you turn around, you look at the Catholics, you look at all these other different people that are doing things under the flag of religion. It's just like, God don't require all that. What are you talking about?
Right.
It requires all that.
Right.
These people don't even go and read and study for thyself. They believe in what somebody's saying up in that pulpit. And they're so backwards and mixed up, and they let you do anything, treat the kids any kind of way, treat your husband, treat your wife any kind of way, and all that kind of stuff. And that's supposed to be good in the sight of your God?
Right.
Man, stop talking. Right?
Pass the plate. Pass the money plate. That's all they care about. Talking all that mess. And pass the plate.
Exactly. It's kind of sad.
Yeah.
People need to wake up, though. People need to wake up.
I didn't do the thought of the day. I'm going to do that as a...
We did miss that, yeah.
Yeah, this is actually a good one. So it says... Oh, shoot. Where'd it go? You can't start the next chapter of your life if you keep rereading the last one.
Okay.
That part right there. That's true. You can't start the next chapter of your life if you keep rereading. So if you keep going back and saying, oh, this, oh, that, oh, this, oh, that. No. Shut that chapter, close it, and let's start the new chapter. It's time to start a new chapter.
I was just reading today and I wrote it down. It says, we need to learn how to calm our own storms.
Yeah. That's
we
so
need to
true.
Learn to do that.
We do. You can't move forward. Like if you stuck in this storm right here, your jacked up ass umbrella, getting what's that thing? The lightning hitting it and everything, and you standing there when you can say, I'm gonna actually go inside and give me some hot cocoa and just be like, let me woosah and get up out of this storm. Let me just get out of it. Why are you standing in it? Why are you just like being in it like that? You don't need to.
Exactly.
You don't need
when you can go and go get some shelter from it, right?
Yeah.
Because people don't have the tools to get out of it.
Yeah, and that's true.
We can't ask people why do they do certain things. They don't have a lot of people don't have the tools to weather storms, to process conflict, to resolve conflict. Because the storm is a conflict. People don't have those kind of tools.
True.
Which is
but some things are. I shouldn't say that because
no, I'm not saying. I'm saying a lot of people don't have those tools, and while we sit and we say people shouldn't do this, people shouldn't do that. But
I'm just saying metaphorically.
Only doing what they know how to do in the moment they know how to do it. Because when you know better, you do better, right? And so what we may know to do somebody else may not have those same tools.
True.
Which is why, honestly, people need to keep learning. People need to keep seeking. People need to keep exploring, because you would find those things in what you do on a daily basis.
But even sometimes when people have the tools, they do, and they have access to it, but they rather, some people like to weather the storm. They like to be in, like they like, that's what they like to do, but they want everybody to be like, poor
and that's
Margot.
another point. That's the point I'm getting to. It says instead of venting to other people, you need to realize that everyone else is not in the headspace to hear it over and over and over and over again.
Yeah.
You have to realize that.
Don't bring me in your storm.
And it says that it's up to you to really get the tools and to pull your own self out of your funk. You know what I'm saying? And it says that the true power is observing things with logic.
Yeah.
If people had logic, we would.
If they have the sense of logic.
Where we in?
But the thing is, and that's why I'm going back to that creating toxins and stuff like that, because you just let that stuff just get down in there, and it keeps getting deeper and deeper and deeper. It's like you have a bag and you put this rock in it. Then the next day you got that same rock and you try to chip away, but you ain't chipped away enough. So that way that rock is still there. Then you can steadily putting these rocks in here, but you're not dealing with nothing. That's why you can't pull these rocks out. And you get heavier and heavier. The inside get heavier and heavier. You get more toxic. And then that's when the disease come up. You ain't got sense enough to go to the doctor. And when you go to the doctor, it's really bad news.
Mm-hmm.
And it just says that, that's when the suffering, continues.
Yeah.
I don't quite agree with that. A suffering can happen on any multitude. You could be completely happy and be suffering.
But you have to make a decision that you don't want to.
For yourself.
You have to make the decision. Can't nobody do it for you. You have to. Hopefully there's somebody that can shed some light or make you see or have faith or believe that you don't have to suffer in this manner, that you want help and you don't want to suffer.
That's not severe. That when you have severely mental health, that's not true. That's not true.
When you do what? What are you saying? I can't hear you. What is she saying, Margot?
She said when you have severely mental health, that's not true. But I don't think
mental health. Mental health. That's a different situation.
Yeah, that's different.
No, but what I'm saying is a lot of that stuff is mental illness.
But I don't think
people can be mentally ill. Normal people can be mentally ill. Mental illness also does not have to be a long-term item. It is short-term mental illness as well.
I don't think that deep as mental illness or someone who have a mental illness. I think it's more surface, like somebody. I don't think we going that deep. I understand what you're saying. True, yes. Mental illness is a whole other topic.
Thing.
Yeah, that's a whole.
I get that. I understand that part. I understand.
But it's kind of not though. And so what I'm saying from experience, it's kind of not. It really is kind of not. There are situations where people are called to. And am I saying you should long suffer? No, but there are terms and times where people are in situations and they don't see a way out. They don't see hope. They don't see grace. They don't have faith. All of those things come in. And so everyone experiences that at some point in their life. Do you sit and wallow in it? No. But what I don't, the narrative of that, we should always, you should always pull yourself out. Yeah, but do you have the tools to always pull yourself out? Because the same situation may present itself, but it may be something completely different.
True. But and everybody goes through a stage. Some people may wallow in it a long time. Some people may wallow in it in a short time. Some people may wallow in a couple of seconds. So nobody's saying that you need to pull yourself out of it, wallow in it for 72 hours, and after that, you crazy. Nobody's saying that. But
just don't set up house in it.
Some people do that to themselves. Some people will say, I'm going to give myself 48 hours to blah, 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 blah. And some people don't have the discernment. And I guess that's the word I'm looking for, is discernment. And some people don't have the discernment to say that.
And that's
because
true.
They don't even know, half of the time, they don't even know what the hell they dealing with to even know they wallowing half the time.
So then there go the second part of what she said is, you can wallow in as long as you want to. But don't now take their wallowing and take it to other people and keep saying, I'm wallowing, I'm wallowing. I don't care.
I believe that.
I mean, I cared at the beginning.
People don't have a headspace for it.
Yeah.
Over and over.
When you originally tell me you wallowing, I'm here for you, my friend. The second time, I'm here for you, my friend. The third, fourth, fifth time, I'm like, okay, you need to go wallow somewhere else because... Now,
or I get to the point to where when I see your number on the phone, I'm like, I ain't going.
No, because I can't. Now, I'm not a therapist. I'm a human being. I'm going through my own shit, so I can't wallow with you. I'm sorry. But I mean, there are people that are mentally ill that don't know how to get out of a wallow. They
and you know that person that you're dropping it on. Let me tell you something. You can be toxic to them too because they carrying your load. Because I was one of that person. I had friends that every time I looked up, they were dropping shit on me like I was some psychiatry. The thing is that I would carry this shit with me all the time. I'm just like, damn, I can't even tell them nothing because I carry so much of their shit that I know they couldn't possibly help me with mine. But they stuff took a toll on me and my shoulders to the point that I just started cutting loose, because I couldn't deal with it. If you can't work out your own shit by now, and we grown, and you've been going through this stuff, there is nothing more that I can do for you and nothing more that I can say to you, but you need to stop calling me with the same stuff over and over and over again to where when I hang up the phone, my kids can say, oh, that must be so-and-so because you always act like you're so tired and your whole attitude changes when you hang up the phone from that person. And I'm just like, wow, that was a like an eye opener for me because I'm like, they're absolutely right. So I had to cut that person off. I can't do this no more. And I just cut them off because they became toxic to me and in my environment, bringing it into my environment. I don't want to hear all that bullshit every day. I got my own shit going. I don't want to hear it. And so that's what it means. People don't have a headspace for that over and over and over and over again. I didn't have a headspace. I start cutting. Boom, 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 boom. I'm done. I make a cut every year. I go through all this stuff and then, now, cut. I gotta keep it like that. I'm serious because I'm like, no. Why?
Yeah, I do that every year. That's my New Year. That's the only New Year's resolution that I keep.
I be cutting.
I just be like, nope, move it.
Nah,
I can't. I have my core people, and then throughout the year you get some attachers. And then okay, I need to take them out. I'm back to my core people. I'm like, okay. Yeah.
Those are called, you got the 6, you got the 12, you got the 30, and then you just got everybody.
Just got everybody.
So that's your core spot. You know what I'm saying? Them little people in there, them 6 people, that's your household. Them people you talk to every day, you got to talk to every day.
Right.
Them 12 people, there may be a couple co-workers, close friends or whatever, and stuff like that. But that 30, that's on your phone.
Yeah.
That's them people.
That's
the
your
other
never
people
call.
are just the crew that you meet going along the way and stuff like that. Those are your core folks.
Yep. And I go through my phone. At the beginning of the year and I'll be like, I ain't talk to that person. Get them out of my phone because I ain't talk to you. I don't even remember who this person is. I'm like, who is this? Okay.
Oh, I did that the other day. I'm like, who is this? Wait a minute. I started doing everything, girl. I was like, oh no, I can't. Not doing it. And then sometimes you just outgrow some shit.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah. Yep.
You just outgrow some stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and that's what you're supposed to do. That's what we're here for.
Yeah.
You outgrow some stuff, and there's growth, and there's movement and stuff like that. Grow, please.
Yep. Yeah, but look, I'm over here looking through my phone now. Okay, anyway. Let me get a head start. The year is about to start over again. That's it, y'all. We didn't went through it. What you say, Patrice?
I said I don't even wait till the beginning of the year. I cut.
Oh yeah.
As they come along. I don't be playing them kind of games. I do not.
She don't
play them kind of games. You get the 3-strike rule with me.
I'll be like, what happened to? I ain't talking to her no more.
Okay, that's your warning. And then I get to block in and copy.
Ooh, girl, me too. I block you.
And I'm so bold. I'll block you and tell you I blocked you.
Okay.
You've
tell
been
you why
blocked.
I blocked you. Well, I couldn't go, girl, I don't want to hear that crap you got going on. I'm good.
I do not want to hear
my own shit. Like, it's bad enough I got to deal with my own stuff.
Right.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly.
You gotta do it. You gotta do it. Gotta get in your own head and
they don't even understand. They don't even understand that. Hey, you know what? I deal with shit too.
Right. I'm human, and I deal with a lot of shit.
And you know what? We're gonna have these things, but we gotta learn how to deal with them and which way to deal with them and stuff like that. It's how we deal with it.
I don't mind discussing. I really don't. My core. It's only like 3 or 4 people that I don't care what they got going on. They can always tell me that, right?
Right.
But the more you tell it to me, I think, and you don't have. For me, you got to be solution based, right? Like when I was complaining about my marriage, I was telling Margaret, "But I'm about to leave that motherfucker. I'm about to do this, right?" And you may not even do it in a year or 2, right? It may take you 5 to 10 years, but there's still a solution. What I can't stand is people complaining. I don't know what to do. You don't?
You know what to do.
You know what to do? Well, let me tell you what you need to do, right? So, it's got to be solution based.
Yeah,
it's got to be solution based. He could be beating your ass every single day.
Yep.
As long as you be like, girl, one day I'm gonna get the courage to leave. As long as I hear there's hope, and I don't mean that in any particular thing, Mary. I'm just saying that I feel like there needs to be solutions there. And I don't mean you need to be staying while he's beating your ass. That's not what I'm saying. But a lot of these girls that are in, and I'm just saying, I'm just taking abuse as a form. It's like there is no I'm a lead. There is because they feel like they have to be in that situation for whatever reason. And you always can. You don't have to be anywhere and do anything. Right? And so it's those kind of things. It's just like it has to be solution based. I don't care. I've had many clients that leave, they go back. They leave, they go back. They leave, they go back. They leave, they go back for whatever reason. And I'm not here to judge them or question why they do what they do, because they do it for various different reasons. But the shit makes sense to them.
Right.
And it's only when it don't make sense anymore that they change. And so that's what you got to come to, is when it don't make sense anymore. So if we on the phone and you have that aha moment, I'm just like, okay, girl, you had it. So what's next?
Right. So what you gonna do about it?
What you gonna do about that aha moment?
Yeah, they won't make a decision until they totally have had enough.
Yeah,
had enough.
You can talk to you blue in the face.
Right.
I had a friend that kept talking about she was gonna leave her husband, and I said, you're not gonna leave until you're ready.
Yep.
That's right.
So there's no need for, you can call me every day, you can complain to me every day, but you're not gonna leave until you're ready.
Yep.
And when she was finally ready,
she left.
She left. But I'm not here to tell you, oh, you need to leave him, because honestly, I find that just further gives you a reason to stay with him.
Yeah. And you know what? That's not for me to decide.
Right. That's your decision.
I'm not doing that. I'm not going to tell you to leave him or whatever. Right. I'm just going to say, whatever you do, girl, I got your back. I'm good. You know, like that. I'm going to be your friend. I'm going to be your friend and stuff like that. Anytime you need me, you can call me. You need something, I'm here. If I got it, it's yours. You know that. But, what I'm trying to do is to make you see the beauty in yourself and the love in yourself, and letting you know that, you know, you got some love out here. You know, you ain't got to put up with that. That's what I'm pumping her with.
Right. Yeah.
You know, you're not leaving him. I'm pumping it. I want you to see that you somebody and you deserve to be loved and treated with respect.
Yep.
So I'm pumping her with that kind of stuff.
Yep.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then when she get ready, she'll go.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm not telling nobody to leave nothing. No. You leave when you get ready.
Because then they turn around and be like, well, you told me to leave, and now you don't want to kick it with me? Girl.
You got my bed ready, girl. Listen, with your 5 kids and stuff. No, I can't do that.
I don't. Mm-mm.
You know, I got some money on a hotel for a couple of days. That's all I can get you, though.
I can help you with a hotel for a couple of days.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like that or whatever. You know, honey, listen. Girl, please. Girl, I can't. Ooh, Lord. Mm-hmm. You heard what that girl said at my mama's funeral. What my mom and dad did for her. Girl, please. I'm telling you. We have some big hearts, girl.
Mm-hmm. 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 Okay, y'all. So that is like let me see. Where we at? I'm over here deleting that stuff out of my phone right now. I was like, you got me started. I'm over here. Like, I don't even know. I don't need these people in my phone.
Girl, we've been on here for a minute.
Yep, hour and 30 minutes. So thank y'all for tuning in. We will be here next week. Yep. God willing, we'll be here.
Yes. And Margot, I will see you on Friday.
Oh, yes. I'll see you Friday. And we'll see y'all next week. All right. Peace out.
Okay, you guys be safe this weekend.
All right. Bye-bye.
Have a good weekend.
Look at Malik.